If you listen to the internet, you would think that women only date the top 20% of men and that nice guys are completely doomed from the start. It's a very comforting story because then it's not your fault, right? You can just say, it's the 80-20 rule and I never had a chance. But just because two things happens in the same time, it doesn't mean that one is causing the other. So hear me out. Dating apps are very one-sided. That's true. And some women do chase status, money, and wealth and looks. Yes. But that doesn't mean that real life attraction works in the same way as what the loudest red pillars, manosphere, pickup artists, all those people are saying it does. It doesn't mean that. Today, I want to audit the whole red pill, manosphere, pickup artist story against what science on relationships actually works. We're going to look at where they are right about some of the things and completely wrong about the real disease, the real underlying reason. And then I will show you a path that actually works in real world without turning you into a toxic performer. So let's get into it. So part 1, the trap, the 80-20 rule. So let's first talk about this famous 80-20 rule, okay? On dating apps, most data is actually showing even worse numbers, closer to 5% of men getting the majority of women's attention. And the 95% don't get much. So when you are swiping, it can absolutely feel like women only want to date the top tiny percent of guys. But here is a key point. The reason for that, it's not that women only want 5% of men in real life. It's because the things that truly makes women attracted to men cannot be shown properly on a screen. Behavioral science and relationship building research are very clear on this. Attraction is built through personal interaction. How you have an interesting conversation, how you listen, how your eye contact is, how your emotional presence is, and how you make her feel when she is with you. None of that comes across in a couple of photos and a short biography. No. So yes, apps are heavily misguided, is skewed. But if you take those numbers and claim that this is how attraction works in real life, as you have been reading, then you're making a huge statistical mistake. In real life scenarios, real attraction factors are mostly missing from the app. So the 80-20 story becomes completely misleading. Most women do not end up in long-term relationships with male models or millionaires. They end up with men who are somewhere around average in looks, but strong in connection, strong in reliability, and strong in emotional presence. And it's not visible on a swipe. It's not visible on Tinder. All right? Let's look at alpha dominance versus real confidence. And when I say alpha dominance, I mean fake performance version of confidence. Things that you see in a lot of red pill content, manosphere content, and pickup artistry. Not something that actually works long term because it takes away being you. In certain environments, certain places like bars, clubs, parties where alcohol is involved, then this alpha dominance behavior or just classic alpha male pickup tricks can look sort of effective. I mean, negging, push and pull, acting like a cocky entertainer, acting like you are some kind of a high shot indirectly in stories. I mean, if you are charismatic, that can be pretty amusing and entertaining for a short moment. But here is the problem. When the show is over, that's not what she actually wants for a relationship. Not even close. So From the absolute beginning, women are looking for emotional connection as the foundation for attraction, not just temporary entertainment. Get that? They want to feel good when they are with you, not because you are performing tricks, but because there is a real connection. That's where real confidence and competence comes in. Being stable, being calm, and knowing how to have a genuine conversations based on curiosity and authenticity, that's the key. A man who knows how to listen, how to ask good questions that takes the conversation to depth, and to create that emotional bond will always shine a lot more in the long run. So when red pill content or manosphere content tells you just overpower her with your frame or always be in control, be the man, they are focusing on short-term performance, not the long-term relationship. And most of the time, you just come across as weird. So let's talk about the so-called dark triad traits. I'm talking about narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy. Why do those guys sometimes get short-term results? Why? Well, mostly because they are taking action, okay? They approach more, they push harder, they flirt aggressively, and action always produces more results than doing nothing. So if you look at that perspective, well, that's the answer. Also, their behavior can look bold and entertaining in the short term. So they come off as, pretty fearless, and that can be pretty exciting for a moment. But according to studies, these traits almost never lead to happy, stable, long-term relationships. What you see instead is a pattern of short and very toxic relationships and a lot of emotional damage. Not only for her, but for him as well, for both people. It's important to understand something here. The attraction is not coming from dark traits themselves as a healthy foundation. That is what most guys got wrong. Most of the time, it's simply that a man who does something will always create more outcomes than a man who does nothing. So if we look at that perspective, things make sense. So put a dark triad guy next to a man who is very kind, who have solid conversational skills, and who knows how to build emotional connection that sparks genuine attraction, then I can tell you, the dark triad man doesn't stand a chance. Not even in the short run. He just don't stand a chance at all. By the way, if you want to understand how to actually build that kind of real life attraction through conversations, I've created a free video training where I walk you through my conversational threading method step by step. You will learn how to start conversations, how to keep them going, and how to create that emotional connection that sparks attraction, things that apps can't show. And you will find the link in the description. So let's talk about the solution. So what's the alternative? What can we do here? Well, I call it assertive competence. The only real way to become truly confident is through real competence. And that competence has to be built on experience. In psychology, we're talking about positive reinforcement. So let me explain. You apply a skill, it worked, you get a good outcome, and your brain gets proof. And then your confidence grows. That is how it works. For that to be reliable, your skills need to be based on solid principles, not random tricks. You want skills that are backed by real science. Science from behavioral science and interpersonal communication and relationship building research. When you learn how to apply those principles in conversations to create emotional connection, to make you feel understood, to spark attraction naturally, and then you practice them in real life, you become assertively competent after a while. You're not faking alpha dominance. You're not playing a character. You are yourself. You are grounded, kind, and strong at the same time because your confidence comes from something real, skills that actually work. That's the man most women are looking for. Alright, I'm talking about the vast majority of women. Not a passive nice guys with no boundaries, and not the toxic alpha male who only knows how to entertain for a short time. But a man who can lead himself, a man who can connect deeply, and someone who can stand his ground without being cruel. Alright, just a solid dude who is authentic and real. If this video gave you a different perspective on the red pill, manosphere, dating content, and what actually works in real life, and if you want to learn how to build this kind of assertive confidence in your life, I made a free video training for you. I show you the exact conversational skills and step-by-step framework I use for my clients to build real connection and attraction without any games. Everything is built on solid science and real-world experience. So you can find the link in the description. And if this video helped you, like the video. It will tell YouTube that this is good, this is useful, and it always helps me to keep going, giving you science-based content on how to attract women the real way. And if you want more calm, practical dating advices like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video.